The title says it all. What if Sakura possessed a tailed beast? Before you ask, no, I'm not gonna give her the 9 tails. I feel like it would be cooler to give her another one entirely. Why am I giving Sakura a tailed beast? Well, maybe it's because other than being a healer and crying over Sasuke, she doesn't really serve much purpose in the series. Besides that one time where she punched Kaguya, she really doesn't do anything good. In fact, she actually screws many things up, such as accidentally poisoning Naruto in his battle with Sasuke just after the latter had crashed the Five Kage Summit and assassinated the acting Hokage, Danzo Shimmura. Besides that, I just feel like it would be a really cool thought experiment. But before I get into the meat of the story, I need to uncover for you not only the tailed beast we'll give Sakura, but how it came into her possession in the first place. Sound good? Great. Without further ado, let's get into it. But before that, welcome to the Amagi. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Also, be sure to check and see if you're still subscribed. YouTube lately has been unsubscribing people for whatever reason, and we just want to make sure that you don't miss out on any more of our videos. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond just this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all of our social media. Help us reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all of our accounts by the end of the year. Also, if you want to support the channel, we have some brand new merch for you. That's right, you can wear the Amagi wherever you go. We've got t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, hoodies, and more. So check out the link in our description and maybe buy something wicked. Let's get into the video. Our story begins not on October 10th or March or anything. Well, I mean, it might, but not in the same way you expect. Our story actually starts prior to this, during the Third Shinobi World War. It's an important time in the Shinobi world's history, the third greatest war to take place since the end of the Warring States period. In this war, if I may take a cue from Revenge of the Sith, there were heroes on both sides and evil was everywhere. And in the midst of this war, the next generation arises. Under the command of the man who would soon take on the mantle of Fourth Hokage, Kakashi Hatake, Obito Uchiha, and Rin Nohara set off for perhaps the most important mission of the war. A mission only achievable by the Leaf's Yellow Flash and his squad of prodigies. This mission is eventually turned over to Kakashi, who had recently made Jonin at a very young age. During this mission, they were tasked with destroying the Kanobi Bridge, an act that would sever the supply lines to the enemy, causing them to slowly weaken through loss of food and proper medical supplies, as well as loss of stock in ninja tools and weapons. This mission was the last nail in the coffin of the war, and completing it would all but guarantee the war's end and victory in favor of Konoha. Kakashi, a young boy who had been scarred by the disgraced suicide of his father, Sakuma Hatake, after his father was ridiculed for prioritizing his team over the mission, realizes the importance of this mission. And to that end, he is willing to complete it no matter the cost. During their mission, one of his teammates, Rin Nohara, is captured by Shinobi of Iwagakure, who attempted to interrogate her. However, like a true trooper, she manages to resist, giving out not a single piece of information to her enemies. Kakashi, knowing what has happened, decides to leave her behind, as the mission must come first. Obito, on the other hand, disagrees with this, stating that Rin is their friend and that they can't leave her behind. He bucks with Kakashi's belief that shinobi who break the rules are trash, by first expressing his admiration to the hero that was Sakuma Hatake, before stating that even if shinobi who break the rules are scum, those who would abandon their friends are worse than scum. And if that makes him any less of a shinobi, then he'll just destroy all of the real so-called shinobi. Obito would then rush off to save Rin, leaving Kakashi to the mission. Kakashi, though, stops and considers what Obito said, and realizes in the end that he was right. Kakashi makes a U-turn and makes his way back to where Obito was, just quick enough to save him from Taiseki, the Iwanin responsible for Rin's capture and interrogation. He saves Obito, but in the end, the cost is his left eye. The shock of this and the desire to save his friends forces Obito to finally awaken the Sharingan, an ability he uses to kill Taiseki. Both of them rush into the cave to save Rin, facing off against Kako, driving him to retreat. They free Rin, but Kako proceeds to bring the cave down on top of their heads. They flee the cave, but the loss of Kakashi's eye opens a blind spot that causes the young Jonin to be struck by a falling stone that nearly knocks him out. Obito, in a grand moment of sacrifice, rushes back to his friend's side, living what he preached. He picked up Kakashi and pushed him out of the cave, just as the ceiling came down, crushing him. Obito, regretful that he never got Kakashi a gift out of jealousy, decides to gift him the only thing that he can at present, the Sharingan in his left eye socket. He says that it will be useful to him and makes him promise to protect Rin for him. After the transplant, a rage-amped Kakashi not only kills Kako, but many other Iwa Nin, holding off until Minato appears to help. The news is grave and it affects the entire team, including Minato, but for the sake of his team, he holds it together and decides to help finish the mission. Together, they destroy the bridge. This ushers in the end of the war, but not before another fateful mission. Once more on a mission, Rin is captured by Mist Shinobi, who had been manipulated by the real Madara Uchiha into sealing the Three Tails Isobu into Rin. He uses a special seal, which ensures that the moment that she's inside the limits of Konoha, that the seal will break, freeing the tailed beast and devastating the village. As Kakashi escapes with Rin, they're chased by Kirinin, and there Kakashi must face off against them. Normally, it's here that Rin jumps in front of Kakashi's Chidori and kills herself. However, I'm considering a new turn of events. Kakashi, seeing it coming, just barely deflects. Still stabbing her in a very mortal way, he just barely misses her heart. Now, the reason for this is simple. I still need Obito to turn evil, and so my hope is that after this, Obito, having believed that Rin is dead, would return to the darkness. However, I plan to have her survive, if only for just a little while, because the tailed beast inside of her, if you haven't yet noticed, is the one that I plan to give to Sakura. Kakashi awakens later, having awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan, and finds that she's still alive. Her vitals are so weak that you can almost not tell, but she is indeed alive. He stabilizes her to the best of his ability and then rushes back to Konoha, only for her to inform him of what had happened, and how she's currently Isobu's Jinchuriki, and that if he takes her into the village, that she will release the tailed beast. Kakashi retorts that if he doesn't take her to the village, that she will die. Rin is fully prepared to accept that fate, but Kakashi is not. And so, stopping a good ways from the village, he leaves her there and rushes inside to tell Minato, who sends both a team of healers and experts in Fuin Jutsu out there to both give her aid and properly seal her beast by setting a second, more powerful seal on top of the first. They then bring her inside. Just as predicted, the seal breaks. However, the second seal holds true and Isobu remains sealed within her. After the course of much surgery, Rin manages to survive the wound. However, she'll never be the same. Many of her internal organs are ruined. This leaves her in a sickly state for quite some time. The village knows that she won't live too much longer and begin going over candidates to receive her tailed beast. Time eventually passes to that fateful day in October when Obito returns to take the Nine Tails. Unbeknownst to him, Rin is still alive and kicking. She spends most of her time these days as a healer, hoping to save lives in her own way while possibly finding a way to prolong her own. It's then that the Nine Tails is released. Most are called out of the village, but before she can leave, she's confronted by Black Zetsu, who releases the seal on her, causing the Three Tails to escape as well. It seems dire for Konoha, as not only one but two of the nine-tailed beasts are ravaging the village. During the course of these events, Kizashi and Mebuki Haruno are killed attempting to protect their daughter. In one last-ditch effort in hopes of saving the village, Rin Nohara would perform the Reaper Death Seal in an attempt to put the Three Tails into the only possible candidate, a 7-month-old girl who had been left behind by her now-deceased parents. With this done, Rin Nohara dies. Elsewhere, Minato has also performed the Reaper Death Seal in an attempt to deal with the Nine Tails, and has managed to seal half into himself and half into the newly born child, Naruto Uzumaki. The sudden appearance of the Three Tails had surprised Obito. However, having not been informed of Rin's survival, simply believes that there must be another Jinchuriki within the village, one that managed to capture Isobu after it reconstituted post Rin's supposed demise, and so he leaves, his plot foiled. Both children are admitted to the hospital after the end of the attack, and it becomes known that both Sakura and Naruto are vessels of the two-tailed beasts that had ravaged the village. Due to the circumstances, not only does Hiruzen, the recently out-of-retirement Hokage, give Naruto an apartment and paycheck, but he also does the same for Sakura, much like even Sasuke's experiencing. Like Naruto, Sakura experiences the full force of Konoha's hate. nobody likes her or cares for her. Given who Sakura is on a personal level, her reaction to this is far different from Naruto's. Naruto had a tendency to let things just roll off him if he could. He learned to deal with it. Sakura, on the other hand, has no such coping mechanism. She possesses her inner Sakura, but at this point her true feelings welling up inside have turned her inner Sakura into a sort of mindless bully that both criticizes her and all the people around her. Given that this inner Sakura is a manifestation of the things she feels and isn't willing to say, this inner version of herself is prone to hateful speech regarding all those around her, generally speaking homicidally of the people who punish her for existing, before speaking suicidally towards Sakura, who believes she's worthless garbage that doesn't deserve to live. She fights this with all she has, but the thoughts never go away. It's around this time that she joins the academy and is exposed to Naruto, a boy in her class with the same kind of life as her. Neither Naruto nor Sakura know why they or the other are hated, and so whenever one of them sees the other being picked on, they tend to come to each other's aid. Naruto is far more reliable with this, as he tends to be the first to make any move whatsoever. For a while, Sakura avoids Naruto, but when she gets bullied by the other kids who also make fun of the size of her forehead, Naruto is always the first one to come in swinging to her defense. This causes a bit of a bond to form between them, as they both understand what the other's going through. To this point, Sakura does still have a crush on Sasuke, but she doesn't do much about it due to her total and complete lack of confidence. Her lack of confidence is something that truly makes her life hard, as she tends to close off from people due to the fear of being hurt. But Naruto manages to evade all of these defenses and becomes her first, truest, and only friend in the whole world. This would itself lead to a bit of a crush on him, as she has never witnessed somebody with a heart like his. Though Naruto is oblivious to this, just as he is oblivious to the affections of Hinata. Likely due to this, and by Naruto's own admission in the last movie, he likely would not so openly chase Sakura, as his affections for her were based solely upon his rivalry with Sasuke, so if she doesn't chase Sasuke and instead chases Naruto, he likely wouldn't care too much. At least, not at first. So with this done, we move on to the point after the teams are selected post-academy. Sakura would end up on Team 7 with the others. While her team's dreams do not change much, hers definitely does. Instead of dreaming of becoming Sasuke's wife, she instead dreams of being accepted by the village, a dream that Naruto shares. However, her dreams do not go so far as to become Hokage. She just craves acceptance and admiration. Kakashi takes these pieces of information in, and when he's asked about his own dreams and the like, his answers are more in line with none of your business. And so, the time for the bell test comes around, and just like before, Naruto attempts to eat all of the lunch when he is certain that they will never beat Kakashi. And so, he's punished by being tied to a post while the others eat. Despite the stipulation that if they share food with him that they will fail the test, they decide to do so anyway, since they know that they can never succeed without him. And so they free him, only to be busted by Kakashi, who states that his intent was to test their willingness to help their comrade, even against orders. This satisfied his desire to see if his students kept with the belief that he had once held, but lost until Obito reminded him of it. Kakashi then makes them his students. The newly formed Team 7 then proceeds to accomplish various missions of low rank until they're granted permission to go on the Land of Waves mission. On this mission, they encounter the Demon Bros, who scare Naruto silly only to be defeated by Sasuke, who chastises Naruto for being a baby. This sort of offends Sakura a bit, but she holds her tongue as she still possesses a bit of a crush on Sasuke as well. As they move on, Sakura is tasked with protecting Tazuna as Kakashi and later Naruto and Sasuke battle Zabuza. Sasuke and Naruto manage to pull one over on Zabuza, which gives Kakashi all the time he needs to escape. This is when Zabuza feigns his death by Haku's hands and escapes with his young protege. They then proceed to the home of Tazuna, where a resting Kakashi orders his team to train, stating that they need to learn to accurately control their chakra, which will allow them to complete complex tasks, such as walking on the surface of objects, like a vertical tree trunk. Sakura, being a good study, already knows how this works. She even explains it to the others, as well as demonstrating it firsthand, proving that out of all the team, she is almost a prodigy when it comes to chakra control. And trust me, this has an effect later on in the story. Naruto and Sasuke both struggle to do this and come home tired from non-stop training. Sakura, on the other hand, is left to protect Tazuna while they work themselves so hard that they puke. She would be there when Tazuna tells the story of Kaiza and Inari, and it would so deeply touch her as one who has suffered loss and had gone through so much. and it's because of this that she can approach the child and comfort him in his time of sorrow, explaining her own sorrows and the sorrows of her team, and explaining what being a true hero is. This changes Inari's worldview for the better. Eventually, Naruto comes home so tired that Kakashi finds it better just to let him sleep in, while they continue to guard the bridge workers. It's then that Zabuza and Haku appear on the bridge, proving Kakashi right in saying that he believed that Haku had actually saved Zabuza instead of killing him. A battle erupts, and Kakashi is forced to fight Zabuza, while Haku faces Sasuke, trapping him in the demonic mirroring ice crystals technique. Eventually, Naruto would show up too and jump into the trap as well, hoping to help, only to get trapped himself. This allows Haku to target both with little effort. Eventually, Sasuke steps between Naruto and Haku and takes what appears to be a fatal shot, falling to the ground seemingly dead. The loss of Sasuke crushes Naruto emotionally, which causes him to burst out and strike Haku, using his initial Jinchuriki form, something that startles all nearby. He stops short of killing Haku though when he recognizes that he was the boy he had met earlier in the forest. Sakura, however, upon seeing Sasuke's corpse, would flip. Sasuke was one of the few people who had accepted her, and now he was dead. This crushes her, and she cries out openly, wailing in such a way that it even threatens Naruto's emotional fortitude. But suddenly, something leaves her besides tears. Tailed Beast chakra begins to escape her body as well, which confuses all around. Unleashing inner Sakura, no longer afraid to show her true colors, she rushes forward and would effortlessly kill Haku. She would then move on to Zabuza, who would be caught between her and Kakashi, killing him too. It's then that Gato and his men show up to the bridge to kill the shinobi. Sakura is ready to kill them too. However, she's stopped by Kakashi, who manages to snap her out of it. The villagers would then attack Gato and his men, driving them off, freeing themselves. The bridge's completion marks true freedom for the Land of Waves. In honor of Sakura, they name the bridge the Warrior Maiden Bridge. Sakura, recognizing that she has just taken her first life, handles this about as well as you would expect. She pukes a lot, but Kakashi reminds her that this is what the life of a shinobi is. She acknowledges this fact and pushes through. Her bond with Naruto grows deeper as they realize that they're both the same and both possess a demon beast inside of them, which explains why the village hates them. They'd return to the village and resume their normal duties. It's then that Kakashi informs them that he, along with Asuma and Kurenai, have decided that their teams should be allowed to enter the Chunin exams, despite how young and experienced they are due to their skill level. As they go, they're stopped by Lee, who demands a battle from Sasuke, something Sasuke obliges. The battle seems to go in Lee's favor, but before it can finish, Might Guy appears and halts it then and there, scolding his student for so recklessly using the 8 gates and the front lotus. The team moves on and officially signs up for the exams. Naruto makes an ass of himself in front of the other genin when he exclaims that he will beat them all, which draws the attention of Team Dosu, who appear and bully the Rookie 9 and Kabuto a bit. Moving past this, the first exam begins. Sakura breezes through it due to her mental prowess. Sasuke also seems to do well due to the presence of his Sharingan, which allows him to cheat on the test. Naruto, however, has no advantages here, and out of everything he can do, academics are among the things he is least skilled in, so Sakura heavily fears if he'll make it. Then comes the final question, which if you decide to take it and fail means you will never become a Chunin. Sakura is, like most others, startled by the exclamation and, like all of them, seriously considers dropping out. However, when she realizes that Naruto will take the question and that Sasuke will as well, she has no choice and does so too. As it turns out, the correct choice was merely taking it in the first place, thereby proving gutsiness. With that, they move on to the next test, the Forest of Death. The goal of this is to defend your scroll with all of your might, and then collect a scroll of the opposite type from another team before making your way to the tower, which serves as the completion area. As soon as they enter the forest though, Naruto has to whiz, so they wait. A decoy would come out, to which Sasuke quickly identifies and drives off. Naruto returns and the trio continues on. They would eventually be stopped by Orochimaru, one of the legendary Sannin who had turned traitor and now is posing as a genin. He's here specifically for Sasuke, but none of them know this. They believe he's here for the scroll, and so they willingly offer it to him, or at least Sasuke does. Naruto, on the other hand, is appalled by Sasuke's cowardice and snaps him out of it. Sasuke pulls himself together, and the trio attacks Orochimaru. Sakura, much like Naruto at this point, can activate her initial Jinchuriki state in dire situations, so together, all three attack Orochimaru. Due to being attacked by so many, Orochimaru is both unable to brand Sasuke or seal Naruto, and so he escapes instead, being successfully driven off by Team 7. Due to this, the team is free to find the scroll they're searching for and then make their way to the center of the forest. Passing this test, they all move on to the third part of the exams, the exhibitions. Due to there being too many people who passed the last 2 tests, they need to hold preliminary matches to call the week. When it comes to this, most of it remains the same. However, when the battle comes to Sakura versus Ino, Sakura manages to take the battle easily due to her possessing extra chakra reserves and much greater strength than her mainline counterpart. Due to this, when the second matches were set to begin, Sakura would have been paired against Dosu. However, Dosu would have been killed by Gaara not long after the preliminaries had ended, and so it was decided that Sakura would move on by default. After the preliminaries ended, everyone was free to do their own training. Given that Kakashi was busy with Sasuke, Sakura stuck close to Naruto, and both vowed to grow stronger together. Mentored by Ebisu, they would both train. That is, until they attempt to stop a perverted old man from spying on women in the bathhouse. This results in Ebisu getting knocked out, and Jiraiya taking Naruto on as his student after witnessing the sexy jutsu. Sakura does not join them though, as she was disgusted by Naruto's sexy jutsu, something that causes her to violently lash out at Naruto for. She decides she would rather not train with Jiraiya, as she's not entirely sure if she would be safe around the lecherous old man, so she sticks with Ebisu. Ebisu would teach her further chakra control, and just knowing that Sasuke and Naruto are surpassing her, she continues to increase her control over the Three Tails, hoping to use it and grow stronger with it. To do so, she attempts to contact it in her subconscious, only to find it being tortured by her inner Sakura, a leftover of her inner hatred at being ridiculed for being different. She drives this inner Sakura off and would then make contact with Isobu. The tailed beast seemed timid, a little afraid of her, and so she tried to comfort it a little, seeing that it wasn't so bad. Upon learning that the reason for its outburst years earlier was due to fear, she would actually begin to sympathize with it, recognizing it not as a demon but as a timid beast that was caught in a situation it did not deserve. Nonetheless, its power was great, and it needed to be controlled, and so she would actually find herself talking to Isobu quite a bit, eventually learning its name besides just Three Tails. The trust they build and the bond they share begins to deepen as she realizes that Isobu is actually quite friendly once you get to know it. This bond and trust over the course of the month actually completely reshapes Sakura's level of power as she befriends it. When the month is over, she waits patiently for her chance to show off her newfound strength to Naruto and Sasuke, but such a thing does not occur, as the moment Sasuke defeats Gaara, the Konoha crush begins, resulting in the Chunin exams being cancelled due to an attack by Orochimaru. Being able to fend off the genjutsu, she awakens Naruto and asks him to help her and Sasuke stop Gaara. They chase after Gaara. Gaara uses a partial transformation to fight against them, but is eventually overwhelmed by the combined might of Sakura and Naruto. Sasuke is blown away by how much stronger both have become and his inability to keep up. Gaara, having had enough, would release Shukaku completely by putting himself to sleep. Naruto would respond to this by summoning Gamabunta, but Sakura, already having befriended her tailed beast, actually summons Isobu to fight alongside her. Being caught between the massive frog boss and its sibling possessing 3 times as many tails, Shukaku would find itself quickly defeated. Gaara would only escape when Kankuro and Temari snatch him out from under their noses. Naruto would be required to go to the hospital due to loss of chakra, but instead Sakura is just fine and merely needs to catch her breath. Naruto thinks what she did was so cool and laments that his tailed beast has a sucky personality and that he's unable to befriend it enough to the extent that she has. He jokingly asks if she wants to trade, much to Kurama's annoyance. They would all attend the funeral of the third Hokage. Thereafter, Naruto and Jiraiya are specifically chosen to be the ones to recruit the soon-to-be 5th Hokage Tsunade. While gone, Kakashi would encounter Itachi, who would put him under Tsukiyomi. Sasuke was planned to meet up with Kakashi, but when he doesn't show up, he knows that something is wrong. He would eventually discover the truth that Itachi is here for Naruto or Sakura, and given that Sakura is in the village, he rushes off to her side to protect her. Itachi and Kisame would show up to attack her, but are driven off by Might Guy. They flee and would target Naruto next, but Might Guy is hot on their trail and stops them before they can do any harm. Sasuke, on the other hand, is tormented by the Tsukiyomi. As he's hospitalized again, Sakura stays close to him and her teacher. Speaking with Isobu, she learns that he can create a hallucinogenic mist that is used to a similar effect as the Tsukiyomi in that it causes genjutsu. With his help, Sakura manages to reverse the mist's properties into a mist that cures genjutsu and administers it both to Kakashi and Sasuke, pulling them out of the genjutsu. When Tsunade returns, she is astounded to hear that Sakura, a girl with little to no medical ninjutsu training, could pull off such a feat and begins to take an interest in her. Eventually though, Sasuke realizes just how much weaker he has become. It's then that the Sound Four arrive and display for him their curse marks. They offer him greater power, and to show him the greater power that they speak of, they brand him with the curse mark of heaven. Due to this, Sasuke is unconscious for a few days, which startles the doctors, but upon his recovery they let him out. He trains, releasing the power of the curse mark. Sakura witnesses it and asks him where he got that power, to which he gives no definite reply. Instead, he asks her to fight with him and she obliges. He uses the power of the curse mark to defeat Sakura, though to be fair, she wasn't using her full power against him. He beats her mercilessly, putting her in the hospital. After this, he decides he could stand to have more power if he ever wishes to face Itachi, and so he decides to go with the Sound Four to get the second stage curse mark. Naruto would visit Sakura in the hospital to ask her how she ended up in such bad shape. She responds that Sasuke got some new power in the form of a curse mark and that she feels it may mean something bad. It's then that they learn that Sasuke has left the village. Naruto tells Sakura to rest before vowing that he will bring their friend back. Naruto joins Shikamaru's team and they all go off to face the Sound Four. Naruto, thanks to Gaara and Lee's help, manages to break through to the Valley of the End where they do battle. In the end, Sasuke comes out victorious and makes his way to Orochimaru where he's to be trained. Naruto returns to Sakura and tells her what happened. Both are sorrowful but decide to double down on their training. Naruto trains with Jiraiya while Sakura trains under Tsunade. During this time, Tsunade teaches Sakura high-level medical ninjutsu as well as the strength of 100 seal and the beginnings of the creation rebirth technique. Eventually, they all meet once more after about 2.5 years. After this time, they are hardly recognizable. Sakura very quickly achieves the strength of 100 seal due to not needing to slowly build it, due to the presence of Isobu whose chakra keeps her going. Together with Naruto and Kakashi once more, Sakura would participate in the Bell test, which they managed to successfully pass. After this, they're sent by Tsunade to the village hidden in the sand, where she manages to heal Kankuro of his poison, learning how the poison is created as well as its composition quite quickly, synthesizing a cure to it using Isobu's mist technique. Together with her mentor and Team Guy, they would search for Gaara, only to be halted by the presence of Itachi and Kisame, the latter of which recognizes Sakura's power. She, together with Naruto, releases the power of their tailed beasts, with Sakura easily utilizing the version 2 cloak to drag them down far quicker than expected. It's revealed that these were only decoys, and so they quickly make their way to the barrier covering the Akatsuki hideout and bring it down. Inside, they find Gaara with both Deidara and Sasori in the middle of trying to drain the tailed beast from him. Deidara attempts to escape with part of the tailed beast, only for Naruto and Kakashi to give chase. Sakura, along with Chiyo, faces Sasori. There she utilizes the version 2 chakra cloak to face him. Sasori would strike her many times with his puppet, which would inject poison. However, due to the healing powers she had attained through Tsunade as well as the healing powers from Isobu, her wounds heal almost immediately, and the toxins within her are neutralized almost immediately through the mist technique Isobu uses. She blitzes Sasori and manages to take him out. She would then learn of Sasori's planned meeting with Kabuto. After this, Sakura heals up Gaara, who thanks them for saving his life. Naruto and Kakashi failed to stop Deidara from escaping, but are glad when they return to find Gaara alive. They return to the Hidden Leaf with this information, and due to Kakashi requiring hospitalization due to the use of his Mangekyou Sharingan, Yamato is assigned the team instead. Along with Sai, the new Patchwork Team 7 move in to take Kabuto, find Sasuke, and apprehend Orochimaru. Yamato takes on the disguise of Sasori, only to realize that this was a ploy all along, and that they had really been planning to kill Sasori. A battle erupts with Naruto facing Orochimaru. Orochimaru would coax Naruto's feelings, causing him to enter an enraged version 2 cloak. Sakura manages to subdue Naruto with the help of Yamato, and even manages to heal him as Sai feigns defection and follows Orochimaru to his base. There, after being presented with the chance to kill Sasuke, he decides against it due to the affection Naruto and Sakura feel for him. Eventually, they catch up to Sasuke and a battle erupts. Sakura, willing to go to any means necessary to bring him home, uses her version 2 cloak to battle him and proves to be quite strong. However, Sasuke requires more than just power to be defeated, and so he still manages to come out on top. Before he kills anyone though, Orochimaru calls them to escape. This leaves Team 7 to return home empty-handed, licking their wounds. Not long after, Asuma is killed during the mission to apprehend the Akatsuki members Hidan and Kakuzu. Naruto would be training for his ultimate technique, which he would release on Kakuzu, which results in Kakuzu's termination. Hidan is beaten by Shikamaru, his head buried on Nara clan land. Naruto's use of his technique causes damage to his arm, and so it's up to Sakura to heal him, which she does over an extended period of time while also helping Naruto with tasks through his daily life due to his inability to use his arm properly. Naruto and Sakura's relationship deepens through this. It's then that news comes in that Sasuke has killed Orochimaru and is now searching for Itachi. Kakashi combines Teams 7 and 8, and Sakura, along with Kakashi's Ninken, search as well, but turn up with nothing besides Karin, who they pass up on due to not knowing who she is. They regroup but are stopped by Toby, who keeps them from moving on. They lose the trail. They would then return to the village where it's discovered that Jiraiya has died. Sakura is there when the news is broken to Naruto. He cycles through the stages of grief but manages to help them decipher Jiraiya's final message. As he sits on the bench, silently crying over the death of Jiraiya, Sakura would just sit down next to him and embrace him, letting her own tears flow due to seeing this. Naruto would later go off to train with the Toads of Mount Myoboku as Sakura continues her work at the Konoha hospital. Pain would then launch his attack. Sakura, realizing that he is likely there for her, would rush out to face him and use her full powers against him. Leading the charge, Sakura would manage to defeat many of the 6 paths. Naruto would also return, and together they quickly defeat the 6 paths, because you can't tell me that Diva is going to fare better against 2 version 2 cloaks, especially if one is in complete control. Sakura would help Naruto defeat Pain, and the two would then locate Nagato. There, Naruto would convince Nagato of his abilities, and Nagato would entrust the future to Naruto, bringing back all who died in the village due to his own attacks. After this, Tsunade, also Tsunade's not in a coma because Sakura's presence managed to protect her from the attack, would attend a Five Kage Summit where Sasuke shows up for the party. When Tsunade refuses to give up Sakura and Naruto, Toby declares the Fourth Shinobi World War. Sasuke fails to kill Tsunade and instead escapes, his eyesight deteriorating. When Tsunade returns, she orders that Sakura and Naruto be sent away for training, but in reality it's to protect them. Once on the island, due to already being proficient with Isobu as well as realizing the truth behind this, she waits and watches as Naruto struggles to master his tailed beast. During this time, they're found by Kisame Hoshigaki, which results in Guy and Sakura tracking him down to stop him from delivering important information about them to the enemy. This catalyzes a battle between the three in which Sakura proves to be an equal match to the Akatsuki member due to her abilities offered by Isobu, which includes the ability of breathing underwater, as well as swimming very quickly. Through the combined efforts of Sakura and Might Guy, Kisame is defeated and then commits suicide by shark. Eventually returning to the island, Naruto, who has mastered Nine Tails Chakra Mode, realizes that the war has already begun and rushes off to join it alongside Killer Bee. Sakura attempts to stop him, but in the end, the three Jinchuriki all decide with one accord to see this war through to the end. They make it to the battlefield where they defeat Nagato, free Itachi, and weed out the Zetsu clones that are infiltrating the allied shinobi forces. They make it to the final battle where Obito stands before them, halting them from reaching the Ten Tails, which is as of yet unable to move. Toby would fight against them, but due to Kakashi's discovery of the link between their Kamui techniques, he is pushed back, but not before he can remove the tailed beast from Sakura. Sakura lays there dying, Naruto holding her and begging her not to go. Meanwhile, in the background, with Isobu present and the Kohaku no Johei and Benhisago, he manages to awaken the Ten Tails. Sakura dies in Naruto's arms. In a rage, as he flies off to face Obito, Chiyo witnesses the cruelty of the war and decides to use her powers to save a younger shinobi far more skilled than she ever was. She uses the One's Own Life reincarnation technique to transfer her life force to Sakura, bringing Sakura back to life at the expense of her own. Sakura laments this, but Chiyo says that it's for the best and dies. Using her strength of 100 seal, she joins the battle, as does Sasuke and the 4 Hokage preceding Tsunade. Together they manage to strip Obito of his tailed beasts, and Naruto manages to bring him back to the side of good. However, before Obito can revive all of those who died in the war, he's forced by Black Zetsu to revive Madara instead. Madara goes about collecting the tailed beasts numbering 1 through 8 until he reaches Naruto. He manages to pull Kurama from him, which causes him to slowly die. Sakura along with Gaara begin trying to revive him. They are then sent to the Kamui dimension by Kakashi, where they eventually meet Obito, who entrusts both Naruto and Sakura with the power of the 9-tailed beasts, restoring both of their power. Both would leave the dimension to face off against Madara, with Naruto saving the life of Might Guy. Naruto demonstrates his new six-path Sage Mode, and Sasuke uses Rinnegan. Sakura then shows off her own tailed beast cloak paired with her strength of 100 seal, and they begin to overwhelm Madara. However, before they can beat him, the moon rises and Kaguya takes over Madara's body and casts the infinite Tsukiyomi on the world. Only Sakura, Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi, and Obito are safe due to Sasuke's Rinnegan-powered Susanoo. They engage in battle with Kaguya over many differing dimensions, with Obito sacrificing himself to protect Naruto from his all-killing Ash Bones attack that Kaguya launches against him. Bequeathing his will to Kakashi, he allows Kakashi to form a double Mangekyo Sharingan, which allows him to use Susanoo. Together, all three attack Kaguya from a different position, forcing her into the hands of Sasuke and Naruto, who extract from her the tailed beasts and seal her away once more into a moon, but this time the moon is in one of the dimensions away from Earth. They return, and it's shown that the infinite Tsukiyomi is still going. Only after a battle between Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke does Sasuke decide to remove its influence. After this, everything begins to return to normal. Sakura reunites with her friend Isobu, Naruto reunites with Kurama, and they begin to live happily together back in Konoha. That is, until Toneri Otsutsuki arrives. However, this is no biggie because Naruto's power doesn't change, only Sakura's does, and it's for the better. You think Toneri is going to be able to stand against two people of six-path Sage Mode levels of power? In the end, Sakura and Naruto marry, and together they have two children, Sarada and Boruto. Then when Momoshiki comes, that likely doesn't change. And even if it does, all that would mean is that Sakura helps Naruto defeat Momoshiki and Kinshiki. This means Boruto doesn't get the Karma Seal, which could be either very good or very bad, depending on how Kishimoto writes out the next chapters. And when Ishiki appears, well, that likely doesn't change either. If anything, Sasuke never loses the Rinnegan because Boruto possibly never gets the Karma Seal. All in all, this series turns out pretty well, and better yet, Sakura gains a bit more importance to the series, which is something she seemingly lacked before. But that is just my opinion. What do you think? Did anything happen that you thought shouldn't have? Or did you think that something should have happened differently? Let me know in the comments below. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Be sure to leave a like and a subscribe. Also, ring that bell to be notified when more content like this drops. Peace.